It's Fill Your Plate Now, where every bite brings you closer to the farm gate and further from what's unhealthy. Now here's your hosts, Julie and Tammy, helping you live well by filling your plate well.
Hello. In this Fill Your Plate Now episode, we have a returning guest. And it's Ashlee Mortimer of Mortimer Farms. She is their Chief Marketing Officer for their direct market farm. They're in the Prescott area, just as you're heading to Prescott. They're right on the kind of right side of the road, and you can't miss them. And Ashlee, golly gee whiz, thank you for returning. Because we know blackberry season is upon us, we had to talk about this. And I know it's a very kind of narrow window in the blackberry season, so you were gracious enough to come online. And then I found out, Tammy, that you love blackberries.
I do love blackberries.
Yes.
I put blackberries in smoothies. I put blackberries on ice cream. I put them in sauces. I love blackberries, and they're so good for you, too.
The combo of blackberries and dairy, I have to say that, it always fits. So
It works well together.
it works well. So we'll get to talk a lot about that. And Ashlee, you were gracious enough to say, yes, I'll return. So welcome back to the studio, and then we're going to get to see you on the farm. So tell us why Mortimer Farms decided to put in their crop mix blackberry bushes or blackberries.
Well, blackberries are a super popular thing for a few different reasons here at the farm. One, it helps us have an established crop that grows back year after year. So you get that really deep root system, which helps with our water conservation efforts, and also just has a little bit of a different maintenance time than everything else that we're planting this time of the year. So the majority of the work for blackberries happens during the winter when we're slower, when we're pruning those blackberries and getting them ready for their dormant season and then to produce fruit the next season, and then during harvest. So when we are planting everything else right now, the blackberries are growing and Mother Nature is helping us out. So those are two of the reasons that we planted blackberries. And then, of course, blackberries and fruit in general is just so popular to come and harvest yourself.
And what we're seeing right now, it's a beautiful scene. So tell us a little bit about exactly where you're at, and then also tell listeners how you can get to Mortimer Farms.
I am kind of off to the side of the farm park, which is all of our farm-inspired rides, games, and activities. We use things that are naturally on a farm, think outside of the box, and make them fun. And I'm sitting under one of the shade trees next to Wi-Fi so that we have a good connection today.
Yay! And it's easy to get up there. Just head up as if you're going to Prescott. And you guys are, in my view, kind of just right outside of town. Like what? Another 10 minutes and you'd be into downtown Prescott, correct?
So we're about 10 to 15 minutes away from Prescott Valley and probably about 30 to 40 minutes away from downtown Prescott.
Okay.
That length has grown over the last few years just with the traffic getting to downtown Prescott. But we are right off the highway, super easy to get to. One of the only farms in our area. So you will see us on the right side of the road when you're heading to town and to Prescott. You can just pull right in and come and enjoy a real farm experience.
Yeah, it's so obvious we don't miss it.
And blackberries, wow, I love blackberries. I mean, not only do they taste good, but my nutrition side knows they're high in vitamin C, vitamin K, manganese, have lots of antioxidants, which all help with like the immune system and bone development, help regulate blood sugar. I mean, there's so many health benefits to blackberries. Do you find that you have a lot of people coming up this time of year? Does the nutrition side of it help with the sales, or is it purely taste that they love?
I would say both, and a lot of the nutrition side and the taste of getting it right from the farm with all of our products is what drives people here. Local is really popular, of course, and buying directly from the farm is super popular as well. And so not only do we see that as a benefit for the blackberries, but a benefit across the board with everything that we grow.
And Ashlee, you're one of 4 siblings, and almost all of you are involved on the farm. It's a family affair. and your mom and dad. I just adore them. Talk about, farm setting and what you've done with Mortimer Farms. Talk about what it feels like to first enter the area where all the blackberries are. What can someone that's going to come up to your farm expect?
A loaded question. I love it. So farming and ranching in general, I was just talking to one of our farm friends the other day about how it's so community driven and how you can call up anybody and they're going to come and help you if you have a flat tire or if you need an extra hand or if you're out of state and you just have this pool and this tribe of people that you can contact and be a family with. And that is the feeling that we want people to have when they come to the farm, that we're extending that agriculture family to the public and not only sharing our story when you come and what we do and how we do things and a little bit about our family, but also all of the farming and ranching families across the state and across the country that aren't as crazy as we are to open up their gates to the public, because really it's just a beautiful community and a beautiful group of people that are growing and raising food. And so we take that as a huge privilege to be able to share their story as you come onto the farm. And so that sanctuary feeling, that magic that you have when you're connecting back to the earth and back to the soil and harvesting your own food and eating it right from the place that it was grown, it's just absolutely magical and beautiful and amazing. And we love to be able to share the beautiful part of what we do with the community.
And you can purchase the blackberries right in your farm store, just so our listeners know that as well. But going into the rows of blackberries and picking your own, it's just, if you're out in the wild and you come across some wild berries, as long as you know they're edible, that whole experience, you can come to Mortimer Farms and do the same thing.
Oh, that's great. That's a great activity to do with a family, too. Mm-hmm. Give them that experience of actually seeing where the blackberries come from.
Right.
And I know blackberries actually are grown in a number of locations all over the world, up in Oregon and California, Washington, where they tend to have a milder climate. We know you have a number of crop rotations, but what made you decide to grow blackberries, and what kind of climate do they need?
So blackberries are a 20-year crop. And so that's one of the reasons that we decided to grow them, is we can have that crop rotation in that area every 20 years, which is super beneficial for our planning side of things. Most crops that we grow, probably 99% of them, we are replanting and moving to a new location every single year. So when you feel like, wow, we had this beautiful spring, this beautiful summer, we put all this hard work in, and then winter comes and we start all over again. And so, and that's really how farming is. That's just the name of the game. And so being able to have a permanent crop that we can have come back year after year, it goes dormant during the winter, and then feels almost magical that it comes back and has this fruitful, beautiful crop that next year. It really is just helps us in making everything happen here at the farm. With us being just a little bit north of Phoenix, we are about 10 to 15 to 20 degrees cooler depending on the day. And so we have definitely a more mild climate than Phoenix. But blackberries, especially the blackberries that we grow, they really like those hotter days. And so in the peak of the summer is when we will have the most blackberries. Our season is usually June through the end of August, depending on what the weather is. And that's a very similar time frame to our strawberries as well. But on those hot days, strawberries tend to slow down. And on the hot days, blackberries tend to just be really, really robust.
And you may have more than one variety, but some of your blackberries are big. They're large. So anybody that's not picked any blackberries up at Mortimer Farms, you need to do it. And now I'm going to ask you a personal question. Okay. What is your favorite way to have blackberries? I personally like blackberry cobbler. The Mortimers also make an incredible blackberry pie. Every time I get up there and go to the store, and if you've got the blackberry pie is available, I do get one of those. But what's your favorite way, Ashlee, to eat blackberries?
That's a hard question because there are so many good ways to eat blackberries. I feel like Blackberries can almost be paired with anything. Garlic and onion, I feel the same. Like, just put it on everything. It's delicious. One of my favorite ways, or two of my favorite ways that we use blackberries here at the farm is we have a blackberry burger that has a blackberry sauce, and it is so, so, so good. And we have caramelized onions on there, and it's just phenomenal. One of my favorite burgers that we have, and we always bring that back for blackberry season. And then I love blackberry tarts just because they're so bright and colorful. We usually do a lemon cream in the tart and then the blackberry fruit on top, and it's just so, so good.
Oh, you're making me hungry again.
I know. I think we need to make another trip up there.
So what's your favorite way to eat blackberries, Tammy?
You know, I love blackberries on ice cream with a little liqueur on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Or also in sauces. I mean, you can put blackberries and cream and balsamic vinegar.
Right.
And, mix it all together into a sauce with a little Parmesan cheese, and it's a more savory dish. And you can pour it over chicken and pour it over ravioli or other pasta. And it's just a really nice blend of that sweet, savory flavor.
The conclusion is blackberries are good with just about anything, to your point earlier, Ashlee.
And they're good for you, so you
Yes.
can always feel good about eating them. I mean,
Right.
they are very high in antioxidants. So, and that helps with many things with the body and helping with preservation of the tissue and of just helping you feel a little healthier and eliminating things that aren't good in your body. Do you have many people asking you about health benefits of
Yeah,
blackberries?
absolutely. Health is really what at the farm what we're all about. Eating those whole foods right off the vine and being able to have that developed flavor profile that you get when you can harvest things so close to when they are ripe. And so health and all of that just comes hand in hand.
So I'm going to pause for kind of like a station identification. Fill Your Plate Now can be found at the starworldwidenetworks.com. So I would encourage listeners, if you're not going to go to your favorite podcast, certainly check us out because you'll find all of the different places that you can catch it, but definitely starworldwidenetworks.com. And so we thought we'd have that little station identification moment. But my question for you, Ashlee, is, you know, you have a lot of favorite events. I guess this is a personal question again. We're getting personal today. You have you have a lot of favorite events and a lot of exciting events. I've been to several of them. What is your favorite event, and is that fair to ask, especially during Blackberry Festival time?
Yeah, absolutely. So my two favorite events are Pumpkin Fest and Corn Maze. I love the party. It's our biggest, our best, our most exciting event of the entire year. We have outside shows that come in and huge entertainment and vendors and fire dancers, and just we do it all out for Pumpkin Fest and for fall and for that harvest. And then my second favorite is Blackberry Festival. I love, love, love the blackberry vines. I love the eating of blackberries. I love all the foods that you can use with it. I love the beauty of the vines, especially on a more cloudy day when it just is a little overcast, and it's just absolutely beautiful with those deep, rich greens, which are my favorite. I love deep, rich greens. And I love that for Blackberry Festival, we talk a lot about pollinators. We do a butterfly release, and we're all about talking about the benefit of bees and all of the pollinators in the world that help us do what we do. So those are my two favorite festivals.
You know, Ashlee, I think you're in your element because daily you get to be surrounded by nature and green, and it really is a beautiful place. If anybody has yet to get to Mortimer Farms, again, it's one of the farms in Arizona that you can visit. We have plenty of farms in Arizona that you can visit. And if you're curious to see what farms to visit and what's available, go to Fill Your Plate, fillyourplate.org. And there's a section in all of the searchable databases that says farms to visit. And again, Mortimer Farms is one of them.
And it sounds like you have a lot of parties there too, which sounds like fun. A lot of festivals.
Yep. Any chance that we can have to throw a party, we're doing it. And usually well, not usually, but sometimes we say whenever it is raining and there's a festival going on, we're open rain or shine. And so we say, if it takes throwing a party and having a festival for it to rain, we're all for it.
We really appreciate water any way we can get it. That's for sure. And
Absolutely.
you've been asking all the festival questions, and I've been asking all the nutrition questions. We keep going back and forth here.
Farm to gate.
Yeah, there you go.
Or farm to plate. We're doing exactly what we're supposed to do.
but really, I can't tout enough how good blackberries are for you. And the other ingredient that's in them is polyphenols, and that actually has anti-aging properties, and it may help to slow things like cognitive decline, and it may help with heart health, and it also may help just in general feeling younger and healthier and revitalized. So.
I am going to be eating them on a weekly basis then.
And do you find you have people of all ages coming up there for blackberries and for various health reasons?
Yeah, absolutely. We have from little kids that can't walk yet or still are in strollers and newborns all the way up to grandparents and even people that aren't bringing kids to the farm. Speaking of like kind of your mental health, both of my grandparents-in-law, I guess is how you say that, they both are like early step Alzheimer's and dementia. And so we always, when we're going down to visit them and going to where they're at in their communities, we always bring blackberries, and that's one of their favorite things, blackberries in our pot pies. So I'm
Awesome.
glad that I'm not just giving them good things. I'm giving them things that hopefully will help them and help them stay with us a little bit longer.
Well, that's
Fantastic.
awesome. Yeah, and berries in general, correct? My nutrition ninja, if I'm asking you that question. Berries, she is my nutrition ninja. Berries in general are healthy for us.
Yes, most
Yeah.
berries, particularly the blue, red berries, so you're talking blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, that whole family.
The deeper
Lots of
colors.
antioxidants and polyphenols that are good for our health.
Awesome. So just thinking overall, some of the things that happen on Mortimer Farms, and I've said this before to you, Ashlee, like literally the whole family cycle can be part of Mortimer Farms because people can get married there. They can have certain family celebrations there. So it's just like, it is family focused. Are there moments, though, that stand out for you? And because we're focused on blackberries and all the fun things you get to do and just eating them, was there a moment or moments, common moments that strike you, especially with those that come onto the farm when it comes to blackberries and the Blackberry Festival and that whole experience?
Oh, a few things come to mind. One, we did a wedding a few weekends ago with someone that first met in our blackberry field and then got engaged in the blackberry field. And then during their tour, they told us all about this. So we took them to the blackberry field during their tour, and then they got married a few weeks ago. And so that cycle of life is just so, so beautiful at the farm that we get to be such a huge part of people's momentous occasions. And then not only do they get married, but they're a part of our family forever, that they can come back and bring their kids and their grandkids and continue visiting that place that they got married and the magic of their wedding day. And it's just so, so beautiful. So that's one thing that comes to mind. Another that is very common is blackberry stained faces when they're coming back through the market at their end of their day, and the kids just have black all over their face and they're so, so excited, and they got to harvest their own blackberries and they ate them in the field and they're so warm and delicious, and it's just so, so magical to see that proof of the fun day that they had and that the grin that they get from ear to ear, and then all the tears that come because they're leaving and they just want to stay at the farm forever.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing. That sounds like so much fun. We have to go up there. I really want to go and see the Blackberry Festival. Also wanted to ask too, do you need to purchase tickets to come up there, or are tickets available online? What's the best way to come up to the festival?
So on our website, mortimerfarmsaz.com, we have an event calendar that you can get your tickets for the day, and that ticket includes everything once you're inside the farm. The pick your own experience, so you can go out into any of the fields and harvest, and you have access to those pick your own experience fields. The farm park, the animal encounter, you can have access to the entire farm to explore and just see what is happening on a real working farm. And then on your way out, you pick or pay for whatever you picked or whatever you want to take home with you by the pound. And it's less per pound if you pick it than if we pick it and it's available in the market. So you can get your tickets online. You can also get your tickets once you arrive here at the farm. And then the market and deli does not require tickets. And we harvest all of our harvests of the day and stock up the market and deli so you can get all of those good things from the market and deli as well. And then we also go to farmers markets every week. So we go to on Saturday, we go to Arrowhead, Gilbert, and Prescott Farmers Market. And Sunday, we go to Sedona, Flagstaff, and Anthem. And then as our season continues to progress and we get even more into our vegetable season, we'll be going to even more farmers markets every week. So those are a few places that you can get our blackberries.
It sounds like you're serving at least 6, if not 7 farmers market. That's amazing.
Yeah, we go to 6 year round, and then during our main growing season, we go up to 12 farmers markets.
Oh my goodness. This family, you guys are not bored. You don't barely have time to do anything else. And based on something you said earlier, for our listeners, for those that are kind of wanting to take their dating life to the next level, they need to take them to the blackberry field so that maybe they fall in love, just like that one couple you described. I love it. So what's one, maybe it's a couple things, Ashlee. What's one thing or things that you want those that come to visit the farm to take away from every experience that they can? Certainly it's going to be a memory, no doubt, but is there something that you think of that you really want people to take away?
So we attract people here with food and with fun, but ultimately our goal is that intertwined in all that food and fun that we are sharing the story of where food comes from. And so we want everybody to walk away knowing that the people that are growing and raising their food, not just my family, but families everywhere, care about the food that they're growing, the land and the water, and are just waking up every day to produce a healthy and abundant food for all of the communities that they're serving, and also doing so as they're caring for the land and the soil and the water and all of those things.
And I can affirm and confirm that they should be able to walk away, anyone that visits Mortimer Farms, with that whole sense of farming, what it takes, because you have those information boards all over the farm. So if I want to learn more about the growing of blackberries and how long, what the season is and how long they last, those things I'm going to be able to attest to and learn about, because that's the way you've set it up on the farm.
Yeah, absolutely. And also all of our team that's here, they were very big about teaching them and giving them as much knowledge as we can about what we're doing, so that even if they're in the market, they can share that heart and that soul about what's happening outside of those doors, and also all those facts that you're curious about, and the things that you're wanting to know to be able to feel like you're feeding your family safe and healthy food. And so no matter who you're talking to, whether it be somebody out in the field or people up in the market or our venues team, we all share this really big, overfilling passion for what it is that we do here at the farm.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. Fun, food, and learning all wrapped into one. That's amazing. And, you mentioned a website and where they could purchase tickets. Do you also have like recipes for blackberries on your website?
Yes, we do. And we also have QR codes when you come to the farm that you can scan, and it will take you to a website that tells you how to harvest it and what things to look for and how to store it, and recipes and some of our favorites. So yes, that all can be found on our website. It's under the What's Pickin' page. So that shows what we're harvesting now, and then also gives you links to get even more information and dive deep into all of those things that we're harvesting.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I know on both of our websites, we also
Yep.
have recipes with blackberries. So plenty for our listeners to draw from. Thank you so much. That's great.
And one thing that I was just struck by, you probably are using QR codes to send your visitors to the farm to learn more, even more so than the signage, or is it a balance of both? I'm just curious.
Great question. It's a balance of both.
Okay.
We have a lot of signage here at the farm, those educational boards that you talked about, and I'm actually revamping them a little bit is one of my goals for this year, to reprint and even put more of those education boards out. But the good thing about QR codes is if we get a new recipe that we want to add, or we find an old family recipe that we want to add, or we have a video that we want to put up, you can change that QR code without, or the context of the QR code without having to print a whole new sign. So we kind of do a balance of both so that we can be as nuanced and as fresh as possible with all the information that we're putting out, but then also have words and photos and info right there that you can view without scanning as well.
And Tammy, our nutrition ninja, you kind of alluded to the diversity and variety of recipes you can have with blackberries, but any final comments and insights that we should have, knowing how healthy this is as a berry, how abundant it is thanks to the Mortimers during the peak season? Anything else that we should know about recipes?
Well, I think one thing just to keep in mind is you really want to try to put those things you know are good for you and that you love at the beginning of the day, because then you know you fit them into your diet for the day. So something like starting out with a blackberry smoothie with Greek yogurt and with blackberries and maybe a banana and some milk and a little honey, mixing that in the blender with a little ice, something like that. You're getting that healthy dose of nutrition right up front. So blackberries are amazing. They're great nutrition benefits to blackberries, but putting those healthy foods at the front of the day, you ensure that you're starting your day out on a good foot.
And we're now entering blackberry season, so people need to get up to Mortimer Farms. Ashlee, thanks again. We so appreciate you coming on once again. You're our first customer first guest that's returning, and we can't thank you enough for everything that you do. And hugs to your mom and dad. Tell them I miss them, and because of that, I'll make a point to get up to Mortimer Farms.
Yes, we would love to have you visit, and it's always good to see you guys virtually and talk all about what it is that's happening and harvesting and blackberries and all the things. So thank you for having me on.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
All right, take care.
Thank you. You too.